But I should mention that we were out here on the Kenda Trakmasters. I swapped over from the 250L in order to make the Supermoto setup work. Remember, we swapped the whole front end, so we already had these fresh Trakmasters on there, so that's what we're going to be testing out today. Notice the silver, because the 300 wheels and the newer 250Ls are black. But yes, definitely nice to be off of those IRCs and on some decent tread. Gotta go find Lex now. So I'll actually be able to do some climbs and really test this bike out. So those dual sport tires, you can get by, but it's just not that enjoyable. And if you can see, it is a mud pit. We've gotten a lot of rain the past few days, so hopefully today we've had nothing but sunshine so far. It'll dry everything out and make the trails a little bit more enjoyable, because you're just constantly dodging these huge puddles and you can't tell how deep they are. I gotta be careful though, the forks need rebuilt really bad. They've leaked a lot of fluid out over the years, and I've always just cleaned it and added a little bit over time, but it is just super soft. Like, I bought them out over almost everything. We leave the bridge. Woo! I don't know if this is part of the loop or not. It gets confusing sometimes when you have all of these different trails that branch off from the main, especially when they're not marked. So it looks like we've actually got to go left here. Uh-oh. We have our first crash. Sound like you went down. Holy crap. We almost went over the edge there. Man, she's gone. Oh, jumping the yacht here. I think I really do notice a slight difference with that sprocket. The 42 is probably a good combination if you still want a lot of street ability but want to do stuff like this. I was fine with the stock gearing until you were going like really slow. Then you had to work the clutch a lot and keep it from stalling. So yeah, the slow speed stuff is greatly improved with that 42. I'm creeping along right now. Granted, the speedometer is going to be off now, but doing less than 5 miles an hour, and it's at a good RPM. When I say working the clutch, you're not really working anything with this bike because the clutch pull is so soft. I have nothing to compare it to. It is just a dream to use. Holy crap. Dude, this thing scared the crap out of me. I've never actually seen one of these pumpers running. That's pretty cool. Man, you can feel the ground shaking. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I've never seen one of those oil rigs actually in use. That was cool to see. Oh, sweet. This is a beautiful section. I was starting to get bored on the trail. I just like seeing new things. If something's the same for a long time, it gets boring to me. I still got that attention deficit in me. That'll never go away. How nice would that be? Backyard literally into the national forest. Yes, please, and thank you. This is an awesome section of the loop. So Knacklemore Loop is not a bust. That's a good time. That was definitely worth it. Just that one little section was worth it. The rest was pretty mundane. Nice. Dude, this is what's not cool about Wayne National Forest. Is stuff like this. Just ruts and mud and ruts. It is not dirt bike friendly. Wayne National Forest is not dirt bike friendly. I think now is when I begin my rant about Wayne National Forest, or we should save it maybe. No, we're not gonna save it. This is what I hate about Wayne. This is so stupid. But yeah, this right here just sucks the fun out of everything for the dirt bike riders. And they don't want you to go off trail to get around it. It's a joke. Wayne National Forest caters to ATV riders. And hopefully this reaches the right people, but we need single track at Wayne National Forest. It is not fair to the dirt bike riders. And I'm sure you are aware that there is single track, but make it legal. It's ridiculous. This is not fun. This is not okay. Prime example right here. And it's borderline dangerous. Dirt bikes need their own trails, end of story. And you literally have an entire group of people who are willing to build, maintain, and make sure they stay the way they are supposed to be. But for some reason, it is still illegal. I mean, heck, we even went to Michigan. That's like the butthole of the state, and they have designated single track. What is that? Bobcat Trail, huh? Look at your phone, we'll see what Bobcat Trail is. Because this just loops back to where we came from. 300's doing good. Kenda Trakmaster's putting them to work.
Yeah, I was like, I'm glad that he put tires on because it would have been definitely slick on those.
I also have different gearing in the rear. I think that's a 42, so we got a little bit more torque.
Torque?
Yeah.
Torque? This is where you took that KT up.
Yeah, I was trying to climb that on my KTM. Mountain goat style. That'd be fun if that tree wasn't down.
Yeah. Beautiful day.
Yep, Knacklemore Loop. Never done the whole loop. We got here and turned around last time.
As soon as we came down that like rocky hill right there, I was like, oh, I remember this.
Yeah.
Exactly. Then I'm
So
coming down that.
I would imagine it loops back to this and we'll come out here. Oh. But don't quote me on that. So that little section that I said that I liked was actually Greendale. We had cut on to Greendale and I didn't realize that. Beautiful area, holy. So this actually leads you back to Knacklemore. Man, this is like deep in the forest. Getting some like Lord of the Rings vibe, and I've never even seen it. Was that it? Ooh, Bobcat Trail! Ooh! A message from Jeff. Jeff, I'm about to crash trying to answer your damn message. Alright, see if we can catch up to Lex without hitting her head on, because she's probably worried about me and she's going to come back and look for me. Ah! And that's the thing about those two-strokes. Believe it or not, they're a lot harder to hear. Not compared to my bike, though. Woo! My mirrors are kind of working as hand guards. Uh-oh. What's she doing?
Nothing, I was waiting on you.
We're only a few months coming up to the date that I broke my leg, tore my ACL, and really put a burden on the past year of my life. So I'll be doing an update / reaction video. I'm gonna sit down, go back through the crash, watch the video, talk about a full injury update. At this point, I might as well just wait till a year. But I've learned a lot, grown a lot, and made the best out of it. And look, I'm still out here having fun. Being more active than most people that wouldn't have gone through that. So, oh crap. Yo. Alright guys, so what ended up happening is we pretty much cut the Nacklemore loop in half. We ended up going down the middle of the red trail, which, like an Oreo, is just kind of the cream. You know what I'm saying? We cut it right in half. We didn't do the full loop. Maybe we'll go back and do it over the weekend. But that's when we came up to the road. I should have kept going right. There was no signs marking it that I saw. So that was a fun little ride. That was a cool section. It's a nice area. We didn't see a single person. So 4th of July weekend and we didn't see a single person. That's pretty cool. Sponsored by Ariat. My dearest tenant, why aren't you wearing your Garniers? I'm sponsored. Well, if you made it to the end of this video, I appreciate you watching, and I just wanted to stop in and give you my thoughts on the Kenda Trakmaster overall. Back in the day, it was one of the tires that I recommended the most, and I'm about to be trying some other options soon, so I really just want to give you an honest overview of the tires. God damn, what the f was that? A lot of people thought I was sponsored by Kenda, and I had a relationship with one of the reps at the time, and I only got one set of big blocks ever. Regardless, I never give biased opinions. So that being said, let's talk about the Trakmaster. So the Trakmaster is a pretty aggressive DOT legal tire. I actually bought my first 250L with these tires and I fell in love with them. They did fine on the street, but they really shined off-road, and just the fact that you could get away with riding on the streets and they wouldn't burn up right away because they are a harder tire. So compared to a cheater tire, which I've come to know and love, these tires are a super hard compound. They're not gonna be good in the rocks and the roots and all of the stuff where the soft compound tires shine, but they do have an aggressive pattern. They've got some nice sized lugs on them. So for the average weekend warrior, warrior, they're gonna do just fine. Also, the soft tires, regardless of what terrain you ride on, they're gonna burn up really quick. So the Trakmaster is a tire that you can have for a while. They're pretty inexpensive. I'm gonna be trying out the Tusk D-Sport tires soon, and they're priced very similar. I think you can find both for around like $60 for a rear. I've always ran the 120 on the 250L. I'm gonna step it up to a 130 with the D-Sport, so I'm excited to try that. I highly recommend running the largest tire that you can. The more meat, the better. Size does matter, guys, and I'm usually lacking in that department. But as far as off-road performance, they do well. At the end of the day, it always just comes down to how you're gonna be riding your bike, what you're gonna be doing. In the early stages of when I had the 250L, I was riding it like a dual sport. I would ride out to new locations, explore, spend most of the time off-road, so I loved the Trakmaster. As my riding progressed and I spent more time off-road than on, I started to see a lot of the weaknesses that came along with the Trakmasters and the compound that they have. But overall, they are a really good tire. You can do a lot off-road with them. You just have to understand the limitations that come along with that harder compound, and that DOT legal tag is just not gonna have the same performance as an off-road dedicated tire. If you're wanting to dual sport, but you're wanting to do some decent off-roading, you're not wanting to spend a lot of money, I can definitely still recommend the Trakmasters. So if you are interested in giving these a shot, there will be a link down in the description. I highly recommend just trying out as many tires and different brands that you can. Try different compounds, get a better understanding of what you like and what suits your riding needs. But that's gonna wrap up today's video. Lots more content from this Wayne trip. But if you enjoyed, be sure to hit that like button. It really helps the channel. Subscribe if you're new, post notifications on, all that good stuff. And until the next video, we'll see you then. What you doing, bud? Ah.